Hi, it's Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky. I'm back with my plans and pans. Last Saturday, there was this unprecedented attack by Hamas on the state of Israel. And we know that thousands of people have been killed and abused and wounded. Hamas is a terrorist organization. And this was an attack on civilians, on people who were in their homes and people who were going about their business in the state of Israel. So this is extremely painful and personal for me in many ways. As a Jew, the Jewish community feels targeted and feels so much pain. And this is also particularly painful to me because in the 9th Congressional District, there are two people that are unaccounted for and are likely, or at least presumed at the moment, we don't have confirmation, to be held hostage. The United States and the President of the United States has committed its support for the Israelis, but I've also raised humanitarian concerns for the innocent people who are in the Gaza Strip. We know there are over 2 million people living in Gaza. It's a very, very densely populated strip of land. And we know of the 2 million plus residents, about half are children. And so I have led a letter that condemns Hamas, condemns the attack on Israel, but also says that I am hoping that the humanitarian concerns that are emerging so desperately also in Gaza be addressed. Right now, the state of Israel has cut off the water, the electricity, access to health care in Gaza. And while I understand the fury, I absolutely understand the fury with Hamas, that means that a lot of people are suffering there as well. My concern ultimately is that there really is no military solution to this ongoing conflict, and I am hoping that this might turn into an opportunity to look for ways beyond violence, to see if there is not some way that we can make sure that Israel can live in peace and that the Palestinians as well can live with justice, and that we can just stop the violence once and for all. At this moment, I'm looking forward to the swift return of hostages. We know that some of them are Americans. We want to, as the United States of America, be as helpful as possible to try and help end this ongoing nightmare. So at this very moment, I am in Washington, D.C. A lot of members, I think on both sides of the aisle, have gone home because so far we do not have a Speaker of the House, and it continues to be just one confusion after another. Steve Scalise had put his name into nomination, and in the first round of votes in the Republican caucus, he got the majority, but he didn't have enough to become the Speaker. So he withdrew his name altogether. Right now, I believe the Republicans are meeting. I know that Jim Jordan and maybe another or a couple other candidates now have emerged. But while it may not seem all that important, the truth is the government of the United States of America, or at least the House of Representatives, cannot function without a speaker. So, for example, when it comes to money for Israel, or if there's money for Ukraine, we are not in a position to act on those things. And make no mistake, while the House of Representatives, while the Congress of the United States is in kind of a paralysis situation, I am sure that the rest of the world is looking carefully at that. And there are some bad actors out there who I fear may decide that this is a moment of opportunity. It is very important that we be a functioning Congress of the United States of America. So far, nothing yet. We have postponed having a budget for the United States of America until November 17th. You know, it was supposed to be weeks ago, but now we have a continuing resolution, meaning we've been kicking the can down the road to decide how to pay for what we need in order to function as a government. So it's a very strange time right now. We have continued as Democrats to say, why not a bipartisan solution? Is there some way for some power sharing? We have picked our leader, Hakeem Jeffries, last January. He's been an excellent leader, and he's willing to talk to the Republicans. We all are willing to talk to the Republicans to see if there is a way out of the standstill that we have right now. In the meantime, I was able to once again go to the White House, see the President of the United States in the Rose Garden. It was a beautiful day this week when I went. And the issue that the president was raising is the issue of junk fees. What do we mean by junk fees? Some of you are aware that I've been working on the issue of ticketing. And that is when you want to go to a concert, when you want to go to an event, you get a price, you think you know the price, then you go through all the work in order to secure that ticket. And all of a sudden there's been a bunch of things added, money added. And often on junk fees, we're talking about not just a 20% increase, but 20, 30, 40, and even more percent increase in that cost at the end of the transaction. We're also talking about airlines and car rentals and even banks, because sometimes the charges that they have, let's say, on overdrafts, and suddenly there's huge attached cost to you. And so the President of the United States has been on a war on junk fees for quite a while and says we have to go after them. And the mechanism is going to be that the Federal Trade Commission is going to make these practices illegal and require that the total fee be available to all consumers up front and all in pricing so that you don't get fooled at the end of the day. And the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which, by the way, you should make more use of if you need to. They will help you straighten out some problem that you've had as a consumer. But they are going to be focusing on the banking problem and what banks are doing to have hidden fees that you were unaware of. It was wonderful to be with the president. He said this is an example of how he is really focusing on everyday Americans. And this is one of those important things that can be so irritating and expensive to so many people who are just trying to live their everyday life and suddenly find that they are being charged way more than they should be. One of the things I was able to do at the beginning of this week was to go to a high school in my district, Glenbrook North, which is one of 353 schools nationwide that is called a blue ribbon school for lots of criteria to decide that it's really a school of excellence. I met with students and faculty and some parents as well to congratulate them on that status. We have some really fabulous public schools like this one in the 9th Congressional District. As a person who began her career as a public school teacher, I'm always proud and happy to go to events like that. So that's the mostly not so good, some bright lights, and I will be back very soon with more plans and pans. Thanks for listening. Thank you for watching my video. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, where my handle is @Jan Schakowsky.